Hi guys, Chris, SVT Garage, and I think you understand what we have right now. We have a 2003 Mustang Cobra Mineral Grey. The car is 100% bone stock. It doesn't have a pulley, it doesn't have exhaust, factory ride height, factory 17s, doesn't even have an intake, and we'll get to all that. Like, this thing is just completely bone stock. Two owner before me, I'm the third. You guys all know I live in Florida. This car has been right down the road from me its entire life. Came out of Freedom Ford in Clearwater, Florida. From there, it went to St. Pete. Both owners ended up living in St. Pete. And just the other day, Aaron, the guy that had it before me, said, hey, I think I'm going to get rid of the car. Help me out. So, you know, looking for someone to buy it or whatnot, I was like, dude, I'm coming to take it. Just don't post it, don't list it. I want it. And he did, man. So shout out to Aaron for doing that for me, man. It was, you know, huge thanks, man. I was literally out of town and running around for 3 weeks, so it just sat in his garage. He said, I'm not in a rush to sell it. I don't got to sell it, but if I do sell it to somebody, I would love it to go to you. So he held on to it for 3 weeks. Came back from my trips. I was in Georgia. You guys know I was doing that stuff up there with Kurgan. Then I came back for a day. I had to go to work, and then I was gone for another week up in Boston visiting family. And then my kids were up there for a couple weeks seeing my mom. So I flew up, and then flew back with them. So the 3 weeks was just like, this thing's on my mind. I really didn't tell nobody, and here it is. Again, Mineral Grey. Only 302 of these made. 03 only, and it's bone stock. It is it's a cream puff, guys. This thing is just so untouched. It's awesome. I'm going to walk you through it. I have not washed it. I haven't touched it. I wanted to show you guys just the car the way I got it before I did anything to it, because if you see some of the other stuff on my channel with the polishing, the paint correcting, the ceramic coating, this thing's gonna pop when I'm done, and I can't wait to get to that part. But there's so much I want to show you right now that I'm willing to just kind of let this sit like this for a couple days, and then we're gonna jump into it. It's here in Florida. It's hotter than Hades right now, and I am finally just able to get outside and just shoot this video. It's about 7:30, and it's just finally a little breeze. The sun's not beating down on you, so here she is in this raw form, how I got her, how I saw her. I'm going to show you everything that this car needs fixing. It's not perfect, but it's not far from it either. And we're going to get into that right now and show you guys. We're going to do the exterior, get you in the motor, the engine bay, and then just go around the car. So first off, guys, the headlights. They're a little rough. The car, from what I understand, the first owner had it outside in a carport for a majority of time, and unfortunately, as you can see here, the headlights are kind of damaged. I can restore these. I will restore them, and they may not look 100% brand like perfect, but they will look about 90. They'll look really good. So I'm excited to get these done and kind of bring these back. I'll re-clear them and do all that, so these shouldn't be an issue. Next is just the paint. It's super dirty. I shouldn't say super dirty. It's just dirty. It's dirty by my standards, but you just can see down here, the car's just been sitting. So you know, he didn't drive it. He didn't get to use it like was when he first bought it. You know, him and his wife had a kid, and you know, they got jobs and careers now, so all that stuff kind of takes precedence. So, you know, the car was just sitting, but you can just see in here, it's just dirty. A lot of surface dirt, not a big deal, and can take that out. Little better side of this headlight over here. So even if I have to separate these, I will, because I would like to keep these. These are the Ford OEM ones. They're kind of hard to come by, and if you do find them, they're super expensive. So I really honestly think I take my time on these. These will come out pretty perfect, but we will see, obviously, in time. Moving around the car here, again, it's just dirty, right? The outside, it's got a couple little dings on it, no big deal. The biggest thing, this just happened. He said he was waxing it a couple weeks or maybe a month before I ended up getting it, and he put his hand up here to kind of rest, like just kind of lean on it, and it cracked. These are known for that. It's not a big deal. I did replace mine with an OEM one, so I will be looking for one of these. If you guys got one, I do want the OEM. I want the one piece, the Ford one. So I did replace the one in the Redfire with an OEM. So I will be finding one for this car as well. So that's not a big deal. I'll replace that. Moving down the car here, guys. The rims. So you just got some normal wear on the wheels here. Let's get in there if you can see it. Nothing crazy. If that was really bothering me, I could get in there, wet sand that down, and then polish it out. But you know, I'm not sure how crazy on the wheels I'm gonna go. But they look good. I wasn't, you know, when I first started getting these Cobras, I just, you know, I like the factory wheels, but I always liked them in chrome. This color on this car, I think it flows very well. I had this color on my silver. My first one was a silver convertible, and I just never looked right to me. But for some reason, I don't know if just with age and getting a little older, I'm digging it. So again, guys, moving around. I didn't really see much on this side. We got a small, I thought we had a small little dent over here by the gas can. Yep, right here. So I got a small little dent right there. I got a PDR guide. Not going to be an issue getting that out. It's got some Firehawks all the way around it. They look good. The car has been sitting, so it's got a little bit of a wobble around 60. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for me to change them out, because they look brand new. They are brand new. I mean, they're solid tires. So yeah, I'll just drive on them and see if that smooths them out. But you can see this little curbing here on the wheel. That I can 100% get out. I've done it before, so this is not a big deal. We can wet sand that down, take it off, take some time on it, and just really refinish that lip. Not going to be a problem at all. The wheel well, everything in there looks good. The fenders have never been rolled. It's literally in its OEM state right now. If you guys were wondering, I don't know if you kind of thought of it right off the bat, first thing I looked at, it's good. Not so good. So the third brake light is cracked. Obviously, if you guys know these cars, you know that that's a thing. So unfortunately, it's cracked. But the good news is I have a new one, an OEM one, sitting in the garage. And when we get in there and show you all that stuff, because that's a whole different side of this car, well, I'll show you that where I got, and let you know where I got that from. But third brake light, I'm probably gonna switch that out tonight. These just pop out. It's not a big deal, right? Down here, they did put the letters in it. I'm gonna leave it. I was talking to Ryan. You guys, if you guys haven't seen his video, go check it out. It's on. I just dropped it today, which is the 8th. Cool interview, great guy, awesome car. So go check that out. But we were talking like, man, maybe we just leave this in here, not knowing if it will affect the paint. So actually, here's a good question, guys. Have you taken these off that have been sitting on the car for, I'm assuming, for 20 years? Let me know. I would like to get it, you know, just how it came from the factory. So let me know, have you guys taken these off if they've been sitting for a number of years? Second, down here, this is a little faded. Again, the car did sit outside for a little bit. But again, I'm not worried about that. I can ceramic this and get this back, or I can just use a SEM. They make a finish for these plastics, and basically what they would use from the factory. So that's not a big deal. I'll get that and get that looking back. But you can just see it's a little faded. The paint itself, though, is great. The paint has no real issues. It's got its like little hairline scratches from washing it over the years, but other than that, it's pretty solid. And all that will come out when I do the paint correction on it. Driver's side, got another little body ding right here. Those are the only two I saw in the car. So again, PDR guy will pop that out. Not a big deal. And the wheels all the way around kind of look the same. I don't know if this was from, it's weird because most of it's kind of on the inside here. I don't know if it was from them taking the wheels off, putting tires on. I don't know, but it's just a little chewed up here. If I was really going to bother me, again, I can wet sand that out, polish it back out, and not be a huge deal. So you know, we'll see. We'll see how crazy I want to get with it. I just kind of want to stare at this thing. I don't know, you know, all exactly what I'm going to do yet, but other than the stuff that really needs to get fixed, like the dents and the headlights for the exterior of the car, and then again the polishing and ceramic and all that, make this thing look solid. And then also the windshield wiper panel up here. Other than that, the outside is pretty much done after that. The vent here's louvers, they look good. I have like 4 sets of these, so even if they didn't, I have plenty of those to change out. I got the factory antenna in the trunk, so that's not a big deal. But this thing is pretty complete. The chin spoiler looks great on this. It's not all like marked up and dinged and or nothing. So guys, I can't believe this car and how just silly stock this thing is. You just I can't tell you how many I've seen in this condition in person. Online, sure, but in person, no. So this is cool. This is like, I was geeking out over this thing. So without further ado, we're gonna move on the inside of the car, and what I'm gonna do is have my son just kind of, as I'm walking through it, he's gonna open the car up, and we'll go from there. So we'll get the front door, the driver's door. We'll just start with the driver's side and go around, guys. The door panel looks fantastic. The buttons in here are all solid. There's nothing rubbed off them or missing. The floor mats look fantastic. The seats look great. It's got a little wear right here. I was gonna get some leather repair and just fix that. But other than that, on the driver's seat, that's it. This thing is it smells like brand new in here. It's crazy. It really is. Up here on the steering wheel, there's no real big, you know how some of these just kind of look worn down from driving through the years, but no, you know, nothing. This thing looks great. The e-brake, that thing is so stiff. I don't know if I can remember feeling one that thing is just feels like it's never been used. So that's pretty amazing right there in itself. The shifter, factory shifter, stock like height. So it took a little getting used to, because that thing is so tall compared to the MGW I got. Also the clutch, guys. The clutch on this thing is night and day compared to the RXT I got in my car. We'll walk around to the trunk. Oh, also it came with 4 sets of keys too, so the things, we'll get to everything, guys. It's pretty awesome. So the trunk here, it looks like nothing's been in here at all. It's just so crisp. It's got the net. It's got the Ford shocks on it still. They haven't been switched out. And it was not the mock kit, so no mock. And then the antenna's right here. And it does have the factory, where we at here? The spare tire as well. So, I'm trying to get in here and get this up without damaging anything, but this thing's just solid all the way around. It's got everything this thing came with from the factory. And it just still blows my mind. I've had the car for about 24 hours now. All right, we'll go to the passenger side. And that's a great shot of this thing right here. It's just so clean. This passenger seat is flawless. I mean, you can tell nobody really sat in this. Dashboard looks great. Carpets over here look so nice. This door card looks amazing. Again, fresh and clean, and just you know, there's no bubbling on it. It looks good. The head unit, it does have I think it's a Pioneer in there. Yeah, Pioneer. I do have the factory head unit for the car as well, and I will be putting that back in too. So, moving in the back here. Again, even the back seats, they look like nobody sat in here. It's just a clean car, very well preserved. It does have tint on it. We are in Florida, so I haven't made my decision to take this. I don't know, guys. Do I leave the tint? Do I pull it? Do I go that far with wanting it to be like, you know, factory OEM, or do I leave the tint? It is a nice setup on the car. The guy did spend some money on it. He said it's got a lifetime warranty and all that, because it is Florida, so there's that. But other than the radio, the tint, and that antenna, this thing is completely bone stock. You want to pop the hood? This is another rarity. I mean, you see these things with, you know, sometimes just a pulley and whatnot. You want to put that up there? Okay. But this thing is just, it's got the factory intake, pulley cover. It's got everything on here, man. That is like it came out of the assembly plant. Nothing was removed from it. He added this on here because he's, you know, he says they use these at work. He's a cop, so when they kill the battery, you just kind of turn this on and off, pull it off, and it just kind of disconnects the battery real quick. I may just leave that because I'm really not going to drive this much, so I don't drain that down. It is dirty under here. See the valve covers though. Again, it did sit outside for a little bit, and you can kind of see that they're weathered. So what I'm going to end up doing is pulling these off, and I'm going to do some research and find out either what color the factory is or get super close to it and just refinish these. The other option is I just find a really clean pair that's obviously factory done and slap them on the car and just put these in a box off to the side. So again, I'm kind of undecided on that, but again, these will be either changed out or refinished. I might just refinish them, kind of like do like a restoration side of this. Supercharger looks great. This valve cover actually doesn't look bad. It's really only that driver's side. The passenger side looks really good. So I think what I might do is just do the driver's side, because then the other thing is it's got the plaque on here. I know we can remove them and put it back on, or tape it off and go around it, but I'm not sure yet. This driver's side though looks fantastic. And then just the elbow up here. The elbow I will be taking off and refinishing that too. Or again, just might find an OEM one. I actually might even have one. That's the crazy thing. I have so many parts from my other cars that I might actually have an elbow. But regardless, those two things will be fixed underneath here, which is good because this one here is actually, they say hard to get off. I've done them before. You just jack that side of the motor up and you can get it past the brake booster. I've done like 3 or 4 of them, so not too stressed out about that. And then you got the underliner here. This looks rough, but I was kind of just touching it with my hands and it's kind of just coming off. So I think if I take my time on this, hit it lightly with a brush and just low pressure, I think this will come out great. So again, not too stressed out about that. And again, I can also use some, me and Ryan were talking, he mentioned, you know, we could use like a fabric dye too, to kind of get that thing looking like super, super nice. But that's the worst of it. Guys, this thing is a cherry piece, man, and I'm super excited that I got my hands on it. You know, he really wanted to go to a good home, and he was like super excited that I said I'd buy it. So, you know, it's here. But just look forward to some videos coming on this thing, because it's gonna be a cool car. I'm gonna leave it stock. It's gonna be some on the restoration side. I am going to set up a dyno for this. I want to know what a bone stock 2003 Cobra 20 years later is putting down. Was there any, you know, loss of power, etc. X, Y, and Z. All right, but what we're gonna do, guys, I'm gonna pause the video here, and we're gonna go in the garage and kind of go through some of the documents that the car came with, which is a whole other, like, it's just jaw dropping. So Just hang on tight. I'm going to pause it here, and then we're going to go in there and show you guys all that. What's going on, guys? We are back, and it's a couple days later from the first part of the video. Just getting into that. I did shoot this earlier, well, that same day. We did it in the garage. My son was helping me. It was just so hot out there. I didn't like the way the video came out. So, unfortunately, I had a couple things come up with work and everything else, is just life going on. So, a couple days later, I'm now getting to this part of it. It's Sunday, about 3 o'clock in the evening. Still just too hot. So, I just moved this here inside. So, I apologize for the wait on that because I know I didn't want to be that typical, like, oh, look what I got, reveal video, and then not show nothing for a hot minute. I was trying to do it the next day, but again, just everything kind of just got away from me. But no, this video, guys, I want to just finish the reveal of the car, and we started out there with the walk around and all that. It's going to be a longer video, so I apologize for that as well. If you guys can stick through and watch everything, I think you're gonna see some pretty cool stuff with this thing. So, without further ado, we'll keep moving. On that walk around video, the first two things you guys will notice that I pointed out, there's a couple issues with the car that need to get fixed. One of them is the obviously that wiper panel. So I'm looking for that. If anybody has a OEM one, knows where one is or whatever, just let me know. I'm definitely interested in that. The third brake light was broken. I do have that here. This is an OEM one. This was given to me by Ryan. If you guys haven't seen his video on that interview on his car, go check that out. Super clean car, awesome dude as well. Really good friend of mine. Basically gave me this and was just like, hey, when you find one, just give me that one. You can use this one for now, because I think he's as excited about this car as I am getting it. So he hooked me up on that for now. So Ryan, appreciate that. And then the only thing on the car that's not Ford stock is the radio, and it came with it. So I get having the double din in there, the aftermarket, the Pioneer, because these really don't do much, and I don't even own a CD anymore. So you're just using your phone to navigate, or just listen to music. It's nice having the apps. So I get why they took this out. I'm 100% putting this back in. The only thing I'm going to do that may just take a second is I'm going to add the like a Bluetooth adapter so that I can sync the phone to it and kind of make it a little modern. But other than that, this is going back in. I just want that whole interior of the car to look factory. So this will be in sooner than later. But this thing is just in great shape. It's not all beat up. There's no scratches on it. And I'm assuming this, only has, maybe the second owner got it at 8,500 miles. So I'm thinking he switched this out when he first bought the car. So this doesn't have much time in the vehicle at all. So we'll get this put in like ASAP. That's my first. These two things will be the first things right off the bat that's going to get done. And then just going down the line here, you guys can see we got a bunch of stuff on the table. And I don't know if I don't think these came with the car, but this came with this car. So I was going to keep it, kind of use it as like a display piece for myself. But just going through here and looking through this book, it's got just some cool information, some facts about the SVT lineup and lineage and all that. And I was just super, impressed with how detailed this book is, from the 93 Cobra R to the other Cobra R models, the 03 Cobra itself. And this is a little hard covered book, so if you guys are interested in some decent reading about the SVT lineup and stuff, this is a pretty decent book. So if you guys can find one, pick one up, and it looks cool too. It's actually a really good looking book. So that came with the car, so I was like, absolutely, I'll take it. And then going down the line here, it did come with the original wheel lock. So I don't even have this for my other car, and this was in there. It's still got the little paper here with the code on it, so if you lose it, you can get the key remade. So this is solid. This is, not as rare. I think a lot of cars have these, but this car, it has everything. So I thought that was pretty solid that the car still had this tucked in the glove box. And then these things, man, I just got one of these for my car a couple weeks ago. I could never really find one. If I did, they were just so astronomically priced. And so I bought one just so I can keep it in my car. When I go to car shows and stuff, I have a little display setup that I do with the trunk and all that, it's whatever. But this car came with it, and everything in here is related to the car itself. So, and we'll get into that as well. But it just has the pamphlet, the actual Cobra owner's guide, and then it has the typical everyday Mustang owner's guide as well, and then your maintenance records and stuff like that. But this is the big deal, having that in there, and then having the SVT booklet. So I'm super glad that this was in here, because I didn't want to have to track down another one. These things get lost in just people moving the cars around, switching hands, and all that. So I was just super glad that this was still with the car. I didn't want to have to, again, track down another one, but everything in here is just for that car, so that's even better on that end. The big thing here on the table is this welcome kit. I knew it came with some stuff, some paperwork and all that. I didn't know it came with a whole bubble wrapped welcome kit addressed to, the original owner. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not going to say any of his information on here because I don't, know him like that. I don't have his permission to say so. But this car was originally bought in Clearwater, Florida, which is right down the street from me, maybe 15 minutes. And both owners, the guy I got it from, he lived in St. Pete, and this guy lived in St. Pete. So this car spent its whole life 40 minutes down the road from me. So I thought that was super cool. Florida car, local, and I know the dealership where it came from. It was Freedom Ford then, and right now I think it's like Countryside Ford or something. So right down the street, and all this stuff is just awesome to have. And I'm so glad that he kept all this and didn't destroy it or throw it away or think it didn't have any value, because I just think it adds to the car itself. So this obviously will be staying with the car too, and keeping it for my own, I don't know, just my own. I this stuff I kind of geek out over this stuff. So the guy kept everything. These are the original valve covers for the car. So have those. Again, I don't think they're worth anything, but it's just cool to see that he was, seeing what this car probably or possibly had potential to be, and just didn't get rid of nothing. And this is just something cool to see, that he really, when he purchased this car, he was, super just aware of the potential of the thing. So, sometimes, today you just don't see that stuff with some of the new cars coming out. So it's awesome that he did that. When we were driving back, Ryan was with me. We were going through the book here. He was kind of, again, geeking out in the car. I think this is it, yeah. So this is the down payment that they gave him a receipt. And his down payment on the car was $6,500. It's dated 7/30/2002. It's got his first name and address and all that. Again, I'm not going to get into all that, but $6,500. Now, this $6,500 down payment barely covered the market adjustment. I didn't know they had market adjustments on these back then. This says it's a $4,000 price increase. So the car was $34,750. With the adjustment, it came up to $38,750. He put down $6,500. So again, I remember at one point these, there's stuff floating around the internet saying where their dealerships have a hard time selling them. So it's kind of cool to see that, even these dealerships were like, hey, these cars are gonna be something cool. Let's add some money to it, which sucks for the people buying it, but he kept this. So I thought that was pretty neat. And then kind of, let me see if I can find it real quick, but going down the other stuff in this car, see if I can find it real quick. As we'll get to it, but the original window stickers in there too. And then this is the original odometer reading on the car. So when he got it, or when it was delivered to Freedom Ford in Clearwater, again, which is a new name, I think it's Countryside Ford, it had 41 miles on it. So again, more paperwork, more documentation with the car, and this is dated, what's the date on this thing? I don't know if this has the actual date. Nope, yeah, 7/30/02. So down payment and the delivery date is right there. This is the SVT08 pin that you see floating around every now and again. So he kept it, not only did he keep it, he left it in the little package here, and it's still stapled shut. So again, guys, if you can see that, that's the SVT08 pin, and then it came with the SVT08 keychain. I've always seen this, I haven't seen this, so I thought that was pretty neat that this came with the car too. And it's got a phone number on there, svt08.com. It's 866-377-8862. I wonder if they still sell these or you can get your hands on them. But again, it's still in the package, stapled shut, never been out, so I thought that's pretty neat. And then in that kit, it was literally on this page. I didn't even open this book yet. It was on the Cobra page. So this is a Road and Track magazine, and this dude, again, he must have been really into this car, which is awesome to see that he was just buying magazines with the car in it and keeping it. So I thought that was interesting. And you know, he must have had a lot of, like, you know, respect for the car, which is awesome. And which the background of the story is, which, you know, I've been there, done that. The reason why he sold the car was he's going through a divorce. And that sucks that he had to get rid of the car. He sold it in 2011 with only 8,500 miles on it. So he didn't put a bunch on it. He owned it for 5 years and only put 8,500 miles on it. And the guy that I bought it from, Aaron, had it from 11 until last week. And it now, when I test drove it, it had 29,995. And when I was test driving it, it rolled over to 30,000. So, so he got a little time in the car as well. He just didn't drive it as much, and he was trying to, you know, use some money to add some stuff to his house, like a pool, I think he was doing. So the car was the easiest way out. So he sold it, and I'm super thankful that he called or reached out to me, and because he knows kind of like how I feel about these cars. But the certificate here is, I kind of caught me off guard too when I was going over it. This is build number 149 of the 8,394 coupes that were made for that year. So, Cole, correct me if I'm wrong, because I just figured this part out like yesterday. 8,394 on these certificates, I believe, are for coupes, and then there's a separate one for convertibles. So again, I've been a huge fan of these cars for many years. I've owned multiple of them. I thought that overall number was for all the models, but no, this is just for 03 and the coupe, because the total build on the Cobras 0304 was 19,000 and some change. So I didn't know that. So I've only seen these certificates for 03, and I've only seen that number, so it kind of threw me off for a second. But this was a low build number. This is number 149. So this is such a low production car. I don't know if it adds to the value of it, but it is cool to see that, it's not, I think my other car is like number 2,300, and this one is number 149. So super low production number on that. And again, Mineral Grey, so I think they made 302 of those. And then I do remember seeing these brochures when I worked at Ford. I was a lot porter for the dealership where I grew up, you know, up in Brooksville, and then I transferred into the body shop. But I remember seeing these brochures, and I never thought to grab one. So he must have been in there and seen this on one of their displays, you know, snagged it and kind of added it to the collection. So really cool. It just goes over the whole specs and just everything about the car, from the curb weight, engine displacement, you know, 390 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, just everything, the brakes, wheels, tires. So again, I never thought, I remember seeing the lightning one. I should have kind of kicking myself in the butt for not grabbing them, but this thing is in kind of pristine shape, so it's really cool to see. And it was in here. Looks like he grabbed some more stuff. This is a road and track, and it's got the 99 to 01 Cobra on the front. It's got the Cobra on the back. I didn't flip through it yet, but so it's kind of showing a Focus R. It must have been like a prototype. I didn't even know they had a Focus R, but that was in there. And then it's just going into the 99 to 01 Cobra here, but pretty interesting. Kind of cool to see. This thing's old. I don't see a date on it, but that was in the package. And then you must have got something printed out from the dealership, because I remember seeing these when I would go to the parts department. They could print you up literally the same diagram and everything. This is just, again, pretty much showing what that pamphlet showed, just the engine displacement, compression ratio, horsepower, torque, the length in inches, the width, headroom. So this is probably something we got printed from the parts department, and just whatever reason might have been looking some stuff up but kept it. And then this, I don't know where he got this from or if this comes in the kit or not, but this is a calendar, 2003. It's got all the SVT models on it, the Lightning, the Cobra, the Focus, and the Contour. And this is July 03 to December 04. So I thought that this thing's in pretty solid shape too. It's got no rips or tears. And again, I thought this is so cool that he kept all this and didn't, you know, just didn't destroy it. It's all just pretty solid. These, I might try to find them online, because maybe if this is me, I probably want them back. So these are the pictures the day he brought it home in St. Pete. So it's a pretty car, man. It looks good, and he picked a good color too. So again, I might just try to reach out to him and see if I can find him on Facebook or Instagram and see if he wants these back. If not, they'll stay with the car. I think this is cool. Some old, you know, pictures from 02, 03, when he, you know, brought this thing home. Lemon Law guide. I don't know. I don't think there's many Lemon Law Cobras out there, but you know, that's in the packet. Window tint. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the other thing on the car that's not factory, is it's got some window tint. And I'm going back and forth on keeping it or, you know, taking it off. So it is Florida. It is nice to have the car tinted, but it's going to be a majority of its time in the garage. And then this right here, I'm just going to cover up his name and address, but this is just the welcome letter to the SVT Owners Association, and they give you a member number. They put your name, address, and all that on here, and then just kind of give you a quick rundown of SVT. So I thought that's pretty solid, and yeah, and in that welcome kit there, some more magazine paper from, page from another road and track on the car. So it looks like he tore this one out. It has the horsepower, again, all that curb weight, engine displacement, the chassis, the drivetrain, and it goes into some handling over here. 0.90 Gs on a 200-foot skid pad. So interesting, but I'll probably just keep that in there as well. This is just some DMV information when when the second owner had the car registered. This is the bill of sale, which we're going to go over those numbers too, because I can't believe what he paid for this in 2003. And again, just some more bill of sale stuff. So it did come with the, so I was looking for earlier, it did come with the window sticker, which again, I would love to find the one for my other car, but you know, it is what it is. It's probably just gone. And I think I heard that the SVT is going to start printing the 03 Cobras in 04 next year. So I will be ordering one of those. I did order the certificate for my car because again, I didn't get that with it. But again, this is cool, man. It's just got the window sticker on this thing, 34,750, and then obviously that market adjustment put at 38. Gas guzzler tax, it was $1,000. So I kind of got some mixed maybe information on that. I heard that they put that shift light in the car to beat the gas guzzler tax, because it does come on at like, I think it's like 2,200 RPM or 24 when you're, you know, just driving. But again, it's saying it's $1,000 here, so I'm not sure. Like, that could totally be wrong. And key standard equipment is coded 300A. But again, guys, this is cool. It just came. Oh, this car was actually delivered down in South Florida in Tamiami Trail at another Ford dealership. They probably didn't sell it, or the original owner wanted that specific color. So I know the dealership I worked at, they would do deals with other dealerships in the area, in the state, and they would have these guys drive down and then drive them back. But the mileage on this would indicate that they had the car transported. So it was originally sold down in South Florida, Tamiami Trail, and then it was brought up to Countryside here, Clearwater. And again, they probably did like a dealer trade. Maybe they had different colors and they just flip-flop, and that's super common. So again, I when I was a lot port, they'd send me to go get the cars, you know, here and there. But window stickers with the car, thought that was pretty cool. The last piece of information here, again, this is the guy selling it to the guy I got it from. This doesn't have anything to do with me. He bought the car, see the date on this thing, January 18th, 2011. It had 8,500 miles on it. The price he paid for it back then was a great, I mean, it's an awesome deal. Because my first car I bought in 09, so 2 years earlier, it was a convertible silver Cobra 03, and I paid like $17,900 for it. It had 20,000 miles. This car he bought in 2011, it's a coupe, it's mineral gray, with 8,500 miles, he paid $13,500 for it. Like, that's a steal. That is, like, I've seen rolling chassis going for 10 or 12 grand today. So, like, I don't know, that's a fantastic price. Even 2011 standards, that's a great deal. And I believe when they were talking, going back and forth on that, the guy that I got the car from only had 13, and the guy selling it wouldn't let the car go. He goes, no, 13.5 is my lowest absolute number. And he said, all right, well, I'll have to, you know, if you still got it, whatever, we'll come back. But he went home, and his father was, you know, a bit of a Ford guy too, and said, hey, did you get the car? He goes, no, he wouldn't have come down $500. So his dad's like, are you crazy? You're gonna lose this car for $500. He lent him the money, said, go pick up the car, bring it home, and you'll pay me back whenever. So that's how he got the car. His dad kind of knew, like, hey, go get that car. Don't lose it over $500. And both owners, again, left this car completely alone with one of the best drivetrains Ford has thrown in a Mustang, in a car, especially for its time. These things were just overbuilt, and they left it alone. Again, I have a really hard time doing that with cars. Even my daily driving F-150 EcoBoost, like, you know, I'm not leaving that alone. But they did. They left it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone because I have the other car. So but if I didn't have the other car, the temptation would, I don't know, it'd be so hard to just not touch it. But what I want to do with the car, what I want to keep it for, it's going to be this whole documentation, and, you know, just leave it stock, because I feel like these cars are becoming harder to find in that condition. I mean, the factory cold air, the factory air intakes on it, it's the factory pulleys on it, it's got the you guys saw it in the video, it's got the factory cover on the pulley, like the snout cover. It's just, everything's there, so I just want to leave it alone. But anyways, guys, that's the 2003 Mineral Grey Cobra in a nutshell. And I am over the moon happy that I got my hands on it. I'm gonna do some cool stuff with it. Again, I think the first video-ish, what I'd like to do is dyno this thing and just see what a 20-year-old bone stock Cobra is gonna put down. So we'll see soon. I gotta find a dyno local, put it on there, and then we'll go from there. But the car is gonna get detailed. I'm gonna just, again, let it cool down out here. It's so hot today, and get that thing in the driveway and just get my hands on it. I'm just dying to get that thing cleaned up. But again, guys, I do appreciate all the subscribers, everybody commenting on the videos. I have a larger group of friends, whether it's these cars or any car, and a lot of them became my friends through cars. So, you know, these things mean a lot to me, and I've met some of the best people on the planet in the car community. So, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys have that same story. You know, we all have our reasons for being into them. And, you know, as a kid, I remember driving around my dad's 58 Ford F-100. You know, I had the 3 on the tree. And I just remember driving in that truck, and it just, I don't know, I guess it got me hooked. And to this day, I see cool cars, and I just can respect them. But guys, what I was saying is thanks for following the channel, subscribing, commenting, throwing some likes at the videos. We're getting even closer to 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm only like 50 away. So huge landmark for me in the channel. I want to keep this stuff going. So guys, I do appreciate it. And, you know, thank you for that. But this video's over. It's a long one. I apologize. But if you guys stick through it, I would appreciate it. But again, guys, SVT Garage. We're going to get the next video going. That's going to be the whole cleanup thing. But until then, thank you.